Have you ever been in a situation where you spent weeks creating a pixel-perfect design, but when you share it with stakeholders, they tell you that it's not what they want? Is it possible to avoid this situation? Yes. Instead of creating polished mockups, you can start with wireframes. In today's video, we will review the concept of a wireframe and learn how to use it in product design. Wireframes are low-fidelity visualization of a future interface created on a piece of paper or in a digital tool. The purpose of a wireframe is to help designers to understand how content and functional elements should be laid on the screen. There are three cases when wireframes are especially valuable. First, when you want to communicate information architecture. Wireframes help you understand what pages or screens your design should have and how content should be distributed between individual pages. Second, wireframes will help you create an excellent visual hierarchy on individual pages. They allow you to properly place content on individual pages. Third, wireframes can be used to describe how your product will work and how people will use it. Wireframes can help you understand how related screens or pages work together, from a user perspective, of course. Wireframes look like they were designed with wires, and that's how they got their name. UI elements in wireframes are represented by simple shapes, such as rectangles. Rectangles typically mean content blocks, or functional element, such as a call to action button. Crossed rectangle, box with X, means imagery. It can be photo, illustration, or any other graphics. Circle. Circle means icon or user avatar. And collection of lines, or lorem ipsum, which means a placeholder text that we will use until we have an actual copy. Here you can compare the real Instagram home screen with its wireframe. The wireframe was created using elements that we've just discussed. When to create wireframes? Wireframes are typically created during the ideation phase. During this phase, the team discusses various design directions and uses wireframes to quickly visualize a particular design decision. The actual process of creating wireframes varies drastically depending on the project needs, but it's possible to identify a few steps that can make this process more efficient. Before creating wireframes, you need to conduct user and competitor research. User research will help you understand your target users, their wants and needs, and the level of user technical savviness. Competitor research will help you learn what your competitors offers to their users. You can use this insight when you're creating your own solution. At the end of this step, you should have a clear answer to the questions like who is the target user and what needs do they have. Next, you need to list requirements for each wireframe. What content and functional elements should this page have? What is the primary action you want the user to take? Write this information on a piece of paper and use it as a reference while designing wireframes. The list of requirements shouldn't be final, but you should have a general idea of what you want to display on the page. It might be tempting to jump straight to a digital design tool to create wireframes, but it's better to resist this temptation. Your goal is to explore various design directions, and most of the time, paper sketches work better for this purpose. Sketching allows you to iterate fast. Aim to create a few versions of each page or screen, say 3 or 5, and compare them side by side to see which one works the best for your case. Next, you need to turn your sketches into the digital wireframes. Digital version of wireframes will make it easier to share them with other team members. Last but not least, you need to evaluate and validate your wireframes. Encourage feedback from your team members, share the design with them, and ask for their opinion. You should also conduct a heuristic evaluation to see whether your design offers good usability. Here are a few excellent questions that can be very helpful while creating wireframes. What should users do on this page? The answer to this question will help you understand how users are supposed to interact with this page. What information do users need to take action? In other words, how to organize the content on this page to support users' goal. What information should users see first, second, and third? The answer to this question will help you design a clear visual hierarchy and create an intuitive and logical layout. What do users expect to see in the certain areas? The answer to this question will help you create a more familiar design for your target audience. And how the page fits in the overall user flow. The answer to this question will allow you to design wireframes that will work well together. Now let's talk about pro tips that will help you make the most of wireframing. Before starting wireframing, you need to have a clear idea of how many screens you will need to design and how users will interact with them. It's much easier to get this understanding when you have a user flow that you can use as a reference. It's possible to visualize the flow using the basic objects such as box and arrows. Next, sketch out the core screens. Choose the screens that are the most important for your user flow. Choose the right level of fidelity. Wireframes are typically created in low and medium fidelity. Low fidelity wireframes contain bare minimum design details, while medium fidelity wireframes look more like mock-ups. Low fidelity wireframes can be a good option during the early phase of design process, when you explore different design directions and want to visualize as many ideas as possible. The medium fidelity wireframe should be created when you want to dig deeper in a particular solution. Medium fidelity wireframes are also very useful during discussion with other designers and developers. Use color to draw attention. Wireframes are traditionally created in black and white, but it's possible to use a limited number of colors, say 1 or 2 contrasting colors, to create visual accents to direct viewers' attention to a particular object, such as a call to action button. This particular example uses contrasting color to highlight interactive elements. Try to avoid using dummy text when you design medium fidelity wireframes. In early stages of design process, your goal is to create a clear visual hierarchy. Set layout and structure. At this stage, you don't focus on the content. You must think about how it should be presented. But after you create a decent visual hierarchy, you should start replacing placeholders and dummy text with the real content, actual or copy, or the one that is relevant to your users. The reason for this is simple. Lorem ipsum doesn't say much to people who will review your design. Wireframes are static design artifacts. While it's possible to ship your design as a collection of individual screens, it's much better to create a flow of them or even create a clickable version of wireframes. Clickable wireframes make it easier for the team to understand the details of interaction. They introduce interactivity and make you think about the product functionality holistically. For example, when going through the flow, you can notice that you need to introduce an extra step between the home screen and a page with the search results. As product designers, we need to provide context and communicate design decisions to team members and stakeholders. If you plan to present wireframes to your team, it's always better to introduce annotations. Annotation will create the context and quickly deliver key ideas. Just make sure you use short to the point annotations. If you need to discuss the concept in more details, say you need to write a paragraph of text, it's better to do it in design documentation, not on the wireframes. The ultimate goal of wireframing is to identify the outline of the content and functionality and create a solid foundation for the future step of design process. Well-designed wireframes make the visual and interaction design much easier. If you like this video, please subscribe and click this bell icon so you will never miss a new video. Thank you!